the funds. And really what I want to use this session to is to have you understand why you're getting the money objection, how to handle it, how to pre-handle it, and also how to know if it's a condition, meaning they really don't have the funds, or if it's an objection, they just don't want to spend money. Welcome, Haja. Welcome, Abby, by the way. Welcome, girls. Apples know within sales, you can have all the right frameworks and all the right word tracks and know what to say. But what's more important is knowing why you're saying it. When you can know why you're saying what you're saying, that's going to help you have way more consistent long-term results than just knowing, okay, I should probably say this at this point. So just some reminders, handling objections, it's all about isolating and isolating and isolating until you get down to the real objection that you can handle from there. So I like to think of it as like a mental onion, right? Lisa gives me the I need to think about it. That onion is still full. It hasn't been peeled back. No layers have been peeled back at all. So you want to start by peeling them back, right? So that typically starts with the smoke screen. Do you think about it, or the spouse objection, peeling the layer back? Today, we're going to be focusing on the actual real objection of money. So yeah, again, just some reminders. It's just going to start by isolating, isolating, isolating. That's the mentality that you need to have the minute you get an objection is, okay, I'm going to isolate every single piece that Lisa just told me so I can get down to the real issue. So that way I can move the sale across the line. So more reminders, typical framework, either again, we can use the fear framework or we can use value, fear, and honesty. It really depends on what objection you're getting, but typically, we want a value loop, right? Have them, the AC just turned off, by the way, if you can hear that. I hope it wasn't too loud again. But yeah, have them reaffirm that they feel like you can actually solve their problems, right? That's the value loop. For example, yeah, Lisa, like money aside, if we were to work together, where do you think you would see yourself in the next 3 to 6 months if you had me by your side, right? Then she's going to tell me why she feels like this is the solution for her. That's a value loop. Okay, hang on. I got to let somebody in the meeting and my screen share is blocking. There we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. And then fear, right? Once we've actually value looped, we want to uncover the real objection, bring them back to the close. Super, super simple. And in sales, you always want to have a solid framework to fall back on, which we'll get deeper in a little bit in today's session. But it's way more important knowing why you're saying what you're saying. So, okay, let's keep going. So this slide here, everything I have here, I really want you girls to internalize, because this is how you're actually going to pre-handle the money objection. And why is this here? There we go. So always remember this: when value exceeds price, that is when the sale is made. So if you find yourself often getting all the tie downs, prospect seems enthusiastic, they seem like they're ready to move forward, but at the end of the call, they're hitting you with something like, oh, I just don't want to spend the money, or I just don't know if this is in the budget right now, whatever it is. If a prospect is telling you that, essentially they're saying that they'd rather hold on to a couple $1,000s than solve XYZ, right? They're telling you that they don't see value in fixing the problem right now and putting money behind what they told you earlier. So what does that tell us? It tells us that the pain is not deep enough for that prospect, right? You didn't create a big enough of a gap earlier. Like, for example, and I put this here because I always want to bring it back to Lisa, right? That one call I had where, she had 100 pounds to lose, and she had literally tried every single diet, right? I was selling fitness. She had tried every single diet under the sun for the last 10 years and still hasn't been able to lose weight. And let's say Lisa, like, if the weight of those 100 pounds was affecting her so much so that it was impacting her confidence, and that lack of confidence was affecting how she viewed herself, and she wasn't showing up as the best mother that she could be. Her relationship with her husband started to fall apart. They had no intimacy life because of it. Even her lack of confidence was showing up in work. She wasn't putting herself out there. She wasn't asking for their raises or going for that bonus. She was making less money. Now they're struggling to pay bills. Now she has anxiety. She's stressing out. Now it's a financial stress, and even her health is on the decline, right? She's got diabetes, she's got heart issues, and that run in the family. And in a few years, she might be 6 feet under, right? And let's say I'm dropping a $5,000 price point. All of those terrible, negative, real, raw emotions that she's feeling in that moment, because we've asked the right questions and we've got her to bring up all that deeper pain, that's a huge gap, right? She has 100 pounds to lose. She's got all of these issues that the weight is causing. Do you think it's going to be worth it for her to spend $5,000 to fix all those problems if it means we're solving a bigger issue? Hell yes, right? There's no way she's going to hit me with, oh, I just don't want to spend that. Who wouldn't want to solve all those problems, right? If you can get your prospect to open up and really relive the pain and make their current situation as bad as it sounds, like, you want to make it as emotionally painful as them as possible, because that emotional pain is what causes people to move, right? Most of the times for us humans, we're less likely to run towards pleasure, but we'll run away from pain. So that's why this is so powerful. So the reason I went off on that whole tangent though, is because if you are constantly getting the, oh, I just don't want to spend it, go back in your discovery and you need to see what you missed. You're probably just getting surface level pain. You're running with Lisa telling you, oh, I just don't have a lot of confidence. What an amateur sales rep is going to do is they're just going to move on to the next question. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Do you have any health concerns I need to know about? Don't skip over that, right? If you want to learn how to never get the money objection of I don't want to spend it, and everything comes down to the discovery, everything comes down to pre-handling that. So Lisa tells me, yeah, Ava, the weights, it's just really been affecting my confidence. I can lean in a little bit. Oh my gosh, Lisa, I mean, as a woman, I totally get that, right? You always want to look your best, feel your best. So kind of fill me in a little bit more then. Like, how has that lack of confidence affected other areas of your life over the years? Right? Notice how I sound concerned. I sound empathetic. I sound like I genuinely care about the pain that she's in. Right? I even go like this, a hand gesture to have her know that she needs to dig a layer deeper. So the reason I do that is to pre-handle the money objection, because now I'm raising the value of solving all of those deeper issues. So that's huge. Like, again, if you girls can really internalize and understand what I just said, what we just went through, that is huge. And again, it's always going to come back to nailing down the discovery, nailing down your tonality, body language, asking the right questions at the right time, getting the pain behind the pain. That is where the sale is made. Something that really bothers me, by the way, in the sales, and this is just like girl to girl right now, I hate when people focus so much on just handling objections, because I want you girls to be bad at objection handling, honestly, because you're so good at pre-handling them. Like, genuinely, the biggest thing that took me from, 5 to 10K months to 30, 40, $50,000 months was learning how to pre-handle. So I just want to emphasize the importance of getting a layer deeper, which we'll cover more in later sessions. But okay, that was like a whole tangent just went on there, because it's so important to learn how to pre-handle. Now, are you girls all following? Like, any questions about anything like that? No? Okay. Okay, amazing. Perfect. Okay, so let's keep going then. So one more thing I want to share before I give you girls a live example of how we pre-handle the money objection, is that there's a huge difference between conditions and objections. You have to acknowledge the objection and lower their guard. So Lisa hits me with, yeah, Eva, it's just, I just think I need 24 hours to think about it. Like, it's just a lot of money. Right? Okay, gotcha. Money objection. That's what I'm thinking in my head. Yeah, Lisa, that's not a problem. Like, I hear you on the investment. So money aside, because that's easy stuff, right? Now, in your own opinion, do you feel that what we can do can really get you to where you want to go? Like, if you and I were to work together and you had me in your corner over the next 3 to 6 months, where do you think you would see yourself? Right? You notice how I'm leaned in. My tone dropped. Didn't drop where you want to keep tonality up, but I lowered my, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you don't want to intimidate her, or you don't want to kind of yell at her and be aggressive. Like, just calm your tone when you're objection handling. And I sound genuinely curious, right? So again, this is a value loop. Now what Lisa's gonna do is we're isolating belief, we're isolating fear. She's gonna tell me that she loves the program. She thinks it's gonna be everything that she needs to finally lose those 100 pounds. Now, if she told me why, skip this, or I can say, okay, Lisa, I'm really glad that you feel like you still feel confident in the program itself. Now, just so I understand better, what makes you feel like this is everything that you need in order to be successful this time, right? Double down on it. So, after we've done that, and now I'm confident that she's sold on everything and she feels confident that this is everything that she needs in order to be successful. Question you can ask, this is optional. How you can ask, like, okay, so if you had the 6K in your hand right now, like, would you do it? Typically, they'll say yes, right? If it's just a fear objection. So, step 5 here is going to be optional, but this line here, I want you girls to really, really remember this. Because again, objection handling, it's that onion, we're peeling back the layers. So, okay, Lisa, gotcha. Gotcha. So help me understand better because like you obviously know your budget a lot better than me, right? So like help me understand, is this just like a bit of sticker shock for you? Is this gonna be a bit of a stretch, or is this like really gonna take away food and shelter? Right. Just so I can see how I can help. Right. So great line there. What we did is we're essentially isolating the money objection even further, right? So again, we lowered her guard. We know she feels confident in the program. If she had the money, she would spend it. So she's totally bought in. Now I need to figure out how far along the spectrum she really is from not being able to afford it. So, sticker shock would be she says that she just doesn't see the value. That's going to go back to the discovery phase. You missed something earlier. It's going to be a stretch. You're probably just going to need to downsell, or you can get her on a financing plan of anywhere from like 100 to 300 bucks a month. Taking away food and shelter, that's when you need to either downsell or it's a condition and they just like really can't afford it, which ideally you would want to pre-handled earlier and just got them off the call if they talked and acted broke, or if you ask them and they said they don't have the money. So no problem. So again, help me understand, like, girls, like, really memorize this because this is tea here. Help me understand better, right? Because Lisa, you know your budget a lot better than me. Is this just like a bit of sticker shock? Is this going to be a stretch, or is this like really going to take away food and shelter from you? Right? Just so I can see how I can help. Great line to remember here, just so I can see how I can help, right? Again, I am her best friend. I am helping her make a decision that's genuinely going to transform and help her in her life. So that's simple. That's how we handle it.